7 people are already on it. You're famous. I have 5 fans, like this was full. I was like, oh, are you listening? I only feel like after like third period. Yeah, so we were missing.
Where's the cursor? I can't see it.
What?
Click that. There you go. And then just small up here. No, right there.
What do you want me to do?
Here.
So you have to hit the different buttons. Just X this out.
Move this over so it's a smaller window.
How the freak do you do this?
You gotta click it.
I am.
This is not a. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now move the whole thing over.
Ah, yeah. I did it. Thank you.
You hush up here.
Is it true? This morning we hit Jason's head.
Let's have the chat.
Ouch. I know it because
There's
he's
no
going.
really going around the
Well, that's how we know he's alive. Like, if you're down and you're going to be down, at least move a part of your body.
Like something she couldn't move on. She couldn't move. Like she was awake, but like she couldn't move her top.
Alright, here's my trumpet solo. Go see.
My baby? Pain? I have a snap, but it won't stay back.
You should. Snap or come watch the game.
Why would I have pain snapping?
Jack goes fast for game.
Basically, become a sister.
Okay?
I basically become pain sister.
Get moving.
Absolutely. No. Hello, my friends. We've entered 30 seconds left of warm-ups, and then we will get this championship game on the road. I'm very excited. People have came to watch. I know you got to listen to me banter only in the third period this morning, but we figured it out. So here we are. They have been playing some really good music during warm-ups, you know.
The last one you can say with reason.
Oh, Kim, you're so sweet. She said I'm amazing. Love you too, Kim. And we are going to announce our players now. Seems I think Mahtomedi is away and the Elks are home. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shakopee Ice Arena for today's championship game of the 2026 Shakopee Junior Gold Biscuit Battle. Today's championship game is the Elks and the Mahtomedi Steppers. Eagle number 31, Ryan Sherlock. On defense, number 2, Owen Biscuit. And number 10, Jordan Skyler.
It's number 10.
And number 12, Leo Westgard. And Rivers coached by Richard Simon and Cody Simon.
They always butcher at least one name. That's sad.
Number 3, Chase Ali. And number 17, Kyle. Or number 6, Weston Game. Number 21, Caleb Sheets. And number 71, Tyler Chesky.
And we will now do our pre-game handshake. This is we can't wait until after the game because things get heated. Things.
The end of the last game.
Well, I know you,
their team is sportsmanship, and
Dad. I know you want them to be good sports, but not every person can be a good sport all the time.
I can hope.
You may hope. All right. The boys have to get ready to do a little cha-cha-cha. See if we can put one in right away. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? I hope that's a yes.
Go Big Red!
Inspiring words by Mr. Michael saying, let's go red. Personally, I'll go with let's go Elks. And to start off, Bratzel takes the face-off, wins it back down for Skyberg. Skyberg tries to go up to Westgard, not quite there. Mahtomedi picks it up in neutral. Bratzel able to steal. Pulls it up the far board. Connects with Rotz across. Rotz goes in. Not able to keep a handle on it. Goes behind the net. Mahtomedi brings it through center and into the Elk zone. Leaves it back. It's a shot. A few feet wide. They dump it back down deep. Tries to center it. Good block by Elks. It's gonna kill me. Westgard picks it up off the boards, leaves it for Bratzel. Bratzel flicks it down into neutral. Mahtomedi cross-eyes pass. Brings it into the Elk zone. Comes down behind the net. goes up to the point, shot and blocked by Halverson. White tries to get it out, unsuccessful, comes back down around the net to Skyberg. Skyberg goes up to Truzinski, over to White. White not able to hold on to it. Mahtomedi brings it in. Goes wide. White in the corner. Mahtomedi brings it out. Truzinski picks it up in front of the net, brings it to the board. Gets it up, not able to get it out. Mahtomedi picks it up, takes a shot from above the slot. Misses. Jack Riley picks it up. Not able to hang on to it. Mahtomedi takes a shot from the point, and great glove save by Sherritt. I've got some competition next to me. It's going to be kind of hard to focus. There's a guy doing play-by-play right next to me. Jack Riley picks it up behind the net. Up to Truzinski. Truzinski not able to hang on to it. Mahtomedi dumps it back down deep. Riley picks it up behind the net. Up to White. White not able to hang on to it. Riley picks it up across to Truzinski. Truzinski comes through neutral and dumps it down deep in Mahtomedi's zone. Mahtomedi picks it up behind the net. Stretch up through. Riley intercepts back to Alcott. Alcott tries to go to Stoltz, not quite there. Stoltz able to pick it up. Couldn't quite get across the blue line. And comes back up to Alcott. Alcott comes back to Hughes. Hughes goes up to Helm. Helm not able to hang on, comes back to Bankston. Bankston over to Hughes. Hughes throws it down through the center and is able to get it down deep in Mahtomedi's zone. Alcott battles in the corner up to White. White tries to go to Helm, not there. Stoltz on the boards, tries to center it, not quite successful. Bankston picks it up in neutral. Gets it up, passes up to Helm, couldn't quite hang on to it and goes all the way down to the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi picks it up behind the net. Brotzel intercepts, tries to give it to Helm, just a little bit behind him. Mahtomedi gains control and brings it out. Hughes blocks, and Westgard is able to throw it back down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Brotzel picks it up in the corner. Couldn't hang on. Westgard takes a whack at it, not able to connect. Mahtomedi brings it into the Elks zone, tries to go across. Great stick by Skyberg. Skyberg picks it up and heads out into neutral. Gets it into the Mahtomedi zone, not able to get it deep. Oh my God. Flings it out into neutral. Rotz is able to get it down deep in the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi picks it up, brings it up through. Bassett able to intercept in neutral. Not quite able to hang on to it, and Mahtomedi brings it down into the Elks zone. Tries to take a shot, is blocked by Westgard. Mahtomedi comes through, pass is not able to connect, and it comes out to neutral. Bassett intercepts and dumps it down deep in the Mahtomedi zone. Halverson picks it up behind the net, tries to give it in front, not quite there. Truzinski in the slot takes a shot and deflected into the corner by Mahtomedi. Truzinski able to keep it in the zone. Mahtomedi tries to get it out, is successful, and brings it up through neutral and into the Elks zone. Great poke check by Riley. Good shot, saved by Sherritt. Riley in a fight in the corner. Riley gets it in the corner, flings it all the way out for White. White, oh, almost, not quite. Mahtomedi brings it into the Elks zone. Good defense by Riley. Riley and White fighting on the board. Thomas tries to get it, centers it for Mahtomedi, not there. Gonna ring around the boards. Comes up to Mahtomedi point. White not able to chip it through. Mahtomedi shoots, goes wide. Mahtomedi picks it up, leaves it back. Riley picks it up in the corner and flings it through out into neutral. Mahtomedi picks it up and throws it back. Hits Stoltz coming off the bench. Stoltz not able to hang on to it, and it goes back into the Elk zone. Riley, sauce pass over to Thomas. Thomas up to Stoltz. Stoltz dumps it down deep in the Mahtomedi zone. Helm able to take his guy. Mahtomedi rings it around the boards. brings it out. Mahtomedi gives chase. There's 2-on-1. Backhand and great save by Sherritt off a rush from a 2-on-1 from Mahtomedi. She'll bring the face-off down to the Elks zone on the far side. Alcott takes the face-off to Stoltz. Stoltz hits it, didn't mean to, but hits it all the way down for icing. And the face-off will come back to the same place. Alcott here to take the face-off for the Elks again. Alcott wins it back to the corner. Hughes with it. Hughes up to Stoltz. Stoltz walks it out of the Elks zone. Hangs on to it. Brings it into the Mahtomedi zone. Sable goes around the net. Tries to center it. Not quite there. Hughes holds it in the zone. Puts it back down deep. Mahtomedi rings it around far side. Hughes holds it in with a little shot on net. Bankston holds his own again and puts it down deep. Alcott gives chase. Not able to hang on. Mahtomedi hits it out of the zone. Bankston picks it up in neutral, gives it up to Westgard. Westgard walks it in, gives it to Alcott. Alcott comes across the center blue line, gives it to Hughes. Hughes slap shot, and just a couple feet wide. Bankston picks it up in center's ice, up to Rotz. Rotz holds on to it, walks it into the Mahtomedi zone. Comes behind the net, gives it up to Bratzel, not quite able to connect, and Mahtomedi comes out. Bankston with a diving, not able to hit it, but Mahtomedi misses, and they throw it back out. Bankston picks it up in the corner and brings it around. Hughes and Westgard on the board. Westgard way over to Rotz. Rotz picks it up. Oh, stolen by Mahtomedi, and Mahtomedi is able to get it deep in the Elks zone. Hughes intercepts a pass toward the front of the net. Tries to throw it up for Trzynski, not quite there, but gets out of the zone. Mahtomedi throws it down. Bankston gets it. Bankston throws it up for Rotz. Trzynski picks it up. Not able to get it into the zone. And Bratzel takes his guy out. Shot by Mahtomedi, goes over the net after deflection from Bankston. Tries to center it, but a great cover by Sherritt. Bratzel just rung a guy's bell. You always know it's a good hit when you hear mom go, "Hey!" Huberson takes the draw. Trzynski able to pick it up right off. Flings it out to neutral for White, and it's a breakaway. White not able to get a piece of it and goes wide. Great back check by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi is able to come back the other way. Great defense by Bassett. White picks it up in the corner. Tries to go along the center board. Mahtomedi takes it off him, and quick shot and saved by Sherritt. Play some great music here. Halverson taking the draw for the Elks. Mahtomedi wins it back and rings it all the way around. Tries to center it, not quite there. Good defense by Skyberg. White brings it back down behind the Elks net. Starts skating. Tries to give it up to Trzynski, and it waved no icing because it hit a Mahtomedi player. Mahtomedi tries to ring it up the board. Successful, great breakout. Brings it all the way through. Oh, he's got an up on him. Oh, not quite there, and a great control by Sherritt. Able to keep that puck from going out. Woo. Yeah. About 6 minutes left in the first period. Alcott takes the face-off, wins it back to Thomas. Thomas picks it up behind the net, comes up to Stoltz. Stoltz can't quite get it up to Alcott, so it comes back down to Riley behind the net. Riley comes up to Helm. Helm gives it out to Alcott. 2-on-1, Stoltz and Alcott. Alcott able to get around his defender, gives it to Stoltz, not quite there. Just gone. Stoltz gets it out in front. of the slot. Stoltz gives it up to Thomas. Thomas fans on his shot. And there was a delayed penalty on Mahtomedi, so now the Elks will go on to a power play. I have no idea the penalty, but we'll go with it. All right, Bratzel takes the face-off, gives back to Thomas. Thomas to Hughes. Hughes brings it down the board to Bratzel. Bratzel on the far boards. Oh, penalty was for slashing. Bratzel has it in the corner, gives it over to Thomas. Thomas brings it up for Westgard. Westgard back to Thomas. Thomas comes around, up to Hughes. Hughes over to Rotz. Rotz with a shot and a deflection by Mahtomedi into the corner. Rotz able to keep it in off the board to Hughes. Hughes in the center takes a shot, deflects off of Bratzel's hand, and the puck is laying in the slot. Not able to hang on. Rotz with a shot, deflected by Mahtomedi. Hughes holds his own. Hughes comes down deep into the corner, tries to center for Westgard, not quite there. Rotz can't quite hold it in, comes out to regroup. Rotz gives it back to Hughes. Hughes makes a loop-de-loop and throws up for Westgard. Westgard not able to connect with Rotz. Tries to bring it into the zone, and it is fired all the way back down to the Elks zone. Skyberg has it, flings a two-line pass all the way up to Rotz, and Rotz is able to put it down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Oh, Mahtomedi is able to fling it all the way back down into the Elks zone.
30 seconds to go now.
Sherritt tries to give it to White. Weren't quite on the same page. Skyberg brings it out of the Elks zone through neutral up to White. White not able to hang on to the puck and throws it down deep. Mahtomedi comes back. Skyberg picks it up in the corner, throws it in. Ooh. Great save by Mahtomedi. Skyberg just comes straight out of the corner and throws it on net. Wowza. What a great play. Halverson takes a draw back to Skyberg. Quick shot by Trzynski, blocked by Mahtomedi, and Mahtomedi is able to fling it way out for Skyberg to pick up in the Elks zone. Skyberg flings it all the way up, intercepted by Mahtomedi, who passes out into the slot, backhand, and just over the net. Penalty was killed off. We were back to 5-on-5. Comes back down to Skyberg in the corner. Skyberg up to White. White tries to go across for Halverson, not there. Mahtomedi not able to hold the zone and comes back out. Mahtomedi comes through neutral and into the Elks zone. Shot on net and misses wide. Comes back out into the neutral. Mahtomedi comes across. White gives pressure. Mahtomedi comes back through neutral into the Elks zone with speed. Dumps it back down deep. Skyberg into the corner to retrieve. Not quite there. Brings back around for Trzynski on the sideboard. Trzynski tries to slap it up the board. Held in by Mahtomedi. Skyberg in the corner. Flings it all the way through. All the way down into the Mahtomedi zone. Elks give change. Do a change. Helm able to pick up. Alcott too. And it is flung into the Mahtomedi bench. The face-off will come down into the Mahtomedi zone on the far board. Alcott takes the face-off, goes down into the corner. Mahtomedi stops behind the net. Stoltz in the battle in the corner on the half board. Helm able to keep it in. Whoa, flicks way up and into the stands. Yeah, come on, Dad. Why didn't you catch that?
Not that fast.
I know it's like 90 feet that way, but you should have gotten over there. Yeah, you did. You played baseball. Get over there. Alcott taking the face off for the Elks. Alcott goes to Mahtomedi and brings it all the way back around. Mahtomedi brings it out and leaves it for someone to go through. Bankston hits his guy. Helm tries to ring it back around, gets blocked. Hughes picks it up off the half board and flings it back reverse for Alcott. Alcott just throws it into neutral and is intercepted by Mahtomedi, who brings it down. Hughes gets a hold of it, flings it up through, and was held in by Mahtomedi, but was able to get out. Dumped back down deep. Bankston there to pick it up in the corner. Flings it a reverse back for Hughes. Hughes comes up the half board off the glass and is able to get it out. Helm gives chase. Helm is able to get a stick on it, but not quite able to control, and it comes back down for Mahtomedi. Bankston with it on the half board. Was up to Helm, back to Bankston, and up over to Alcott. Comes back for Helm. Helm plays it in deep the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi throws it up off the glass and able to get it into neutral. Bring it back into the Elks zone. Brings around for Bassett. Bassett not able to go back the other way. Fight behind the net. Puck battle. Goes up to the Mahtomedi D. Shot and saved by Sherritt. Westgard picks it up off the board. 30 seconds left in the period. Westgard gives chase, dumps it deep, comes back up, gives it up to Bratzel. Bratzel goes back down to Westgard. Bassett is able to hold it in, throws it down to Bratzel. Bratzel tries to get it to Westgard, wasn't quite there. Bassett tried to do it. Mahtomedi picks it up and puts it down. Shot and comes off the glove of Sherritt and goes back around. Mahtomedi shoots wide, picks it back up from the backhand, blocked by Bassett, and Bassett goes all the way back down into the Mahtomedi zone, and that will be the end of the period. How do you feel, Gabby?
Good.
Good. We're having fun. After period number 1, it is 0-0. And shots on goal are Mahtomedi 9 to the Elks 4. We're doing pretty good. Aw. I love how you guys enjoy me doing this, because I didn't want to do it in the first place, but now I'm having fun. I love coming up with some phrases to say. I've been given a couple phrases to say and work in, so hopefully I'm doing a good job. Been a pretty fast game so far. We will now come into the second period. Hopefully the boys can get rolling. I see your comment, Sarah. You're welcome. You should come do it with me sometime. You are welcome. You too, Kim. This would be fun. Panel of the moms, and then the sister. All right. Back in the second period, we have switched sides, and we've got some 15 minutes ahead of us. Here we go. Bratzel taking the face-off. Wins it back to Skyberg. Skyberg throws up for Westgard. Westgard up to Bratzel. Bratzel brings it into the Mahtomedi zone. Tries to give it to Rotz. Rotz able to backhand. Good save by Mahtomedi. Rotz in the corner. Gives it up to Bassett. Bassett down to Rotz. Rotz tries to walk out of the corner. Couldn't quite hang on to it. Rotz goes behind the net. Gives it to Westgard. Westgard back to Rotz. Rotz over to Skyberg. Shot. Pad save. And Bratzel tries to shove it in, and then he is shoved into the net. So I don't know if we call that a body goal or what, but it was not necessarily like an actual goal where the puck went in the net, but Jace's body went into the net. So bowling?
Yeah.
Bowling. Bowling. Yeah, we'll go with bowling. Well, yeah, we're gonna go with he went bowling and strike. So Halverson taking the face off for the Elks, puts it down into the Mahtomedi corner. White rings it around and Halverson picks it up, goes back to White. White not able to pick it up. Mahtomedi comes out. Trusinski tries to hit his side, not quite there. Mahtomedi is poke checked away by Bassett. Brings it back down into the Elk zone. Mahtomedi comes around the net, tries a center, and good block and save by Sherritt. And just like that, a whole minute has come off the clock. Time goes by when you're having fun. Halverson in to take the face off. Tied up. White tries to pick it up for him. Halverson ends up getting it, backhands it into the Mahtomedi zone. And a pretty nice catch by a Mahtomedi player. Oh, he didn't catch it? What? It looked like it. He like full on, it looked crisp, and then he sighed, so I guess he didn't. Never mind. Halverson takes the draw, goes out to the Mahtomedi D. They dump it back down deep around. Shot across the crease, just wide. Mahtomedi comes through, backhands out in front, not able to hang on. Mahtomedi goes up to D, back down. Mahtomedi back up to the blue. Good block. Not quite a block by Trusinski. It walks through and goes into the net. I think a Mahtomedi player was in the crease, so Sherritt's trying to dispute. But I watched these refs the game before, and they're not amazing. I don't know. The refs are talking about it, so I don't know what we have. It might be called off. They're conversing. Something was going on. Either the net was off or the Mahtomedi player was in the crease. Either way, the refs are trying to talk it out. Intense conversation. I think it will remain a goal. They're talking to the Elks coach. Maybe this will put some steam under our butts. All right. Face off at center ice. Alcott taking the face off. Wins it back for Helm. Helm goes to Thomas. Thomas across to Riley. Riley up across and into the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi picks it up. Escapes behind the net. Alcott able to, is kind of able. Riley is able to hold it in off the half-board. Up to Helm. Helm takes a shot, deflected in the corner by Mahtomedi. Stoltz tries to keep it in, not able. Comes back for Thomas. Thomas throws cross for Riley. Riley goes up to Alcott. Alcott across the red line and into the Mahtomedi zone. Leaves it, tries to get it to Stoltz, not able to get there. A little interference going on, but what did the refs scare? Riley tries to defend his guy. Not quite. Thomas into the corner. Puck battle. Alcott supporting. Big board battle going on here. Mahtomedi walks out of the corner and scores short side on Sherritt. There's a little pushy going on in the corner, and parents were yelling. Mahtomedi players able to walk right out of the corner and score short side. Mahtomedi now leads 2-0. Mahtomedi with 12 shots on goal and the Elks with 8. 12.5 minutes left in the period. Bratzel takes the face-off, wins it back to Hughes. Hughes gives chase, backhands it up the board, not able to get out. Hughes brings it around to Westgard. Westgard goes out for Bratzel. Bratzel carries out through the red line and into the Mahtomedi zone, leaves it for Rotz. Rotz goes through just a little wide from the shot. Comes up to Hughes. Hughes lofts a shot. It's wide. Rotz tried to tip. Westgard picks it up in the corners, double teamed, and Mahtomedi rings it all the way around. Hughes not able to hang on. Hughes flings it up to Bratzel. Bratzel regroups, comes around, tries to give it up to Westgard. Westgard, I don't know if he was paying attention or not, and flings it up. Mahtomedi gains control and brings it through neutral and dumps it down deep. Hughes picks it up behind the net and brings it all the way up for Westgard. Back to Bankston. Bankston not quite able to hang on. Slot and top shelf goal from Mahtomedi. Gives the puck right in the slot to Mahtomedi's number 7 and a top shelf snipe, making the score 3-0. Mahtomedi. Back at center ice with Halverson taking the draw. Halverson wings it over to Trzynski. Trzynski tries to go back through, unsuccessful. Mahtomedi walks it into the Elks zone, gives it through. Poke checked away. Bassett with a battle on the board. White rings it around for Trzynski. Trzynski tries to give it up to Halverson, unsuccessful. Trzynski able to push it out of the zone. Halverson gets it, is mostly lone, tries to give it up to White, not there. Shot from Trzynski. A little merry-go-round type turn and then a shot. Good glove save by Mahtomedi, which will bring the face-off down to the Mahtomedi zone on the near board. Halverson taking the draw, wins it over to Trzynski. Skyberg throws it back down deep. White is able to hold it in zone, then gets bodied. Delayed penalty on Mahtomedi, and it is just called. Cross-checking on Mahtomedi, and the Elks will go on a power play. And we have a lot of hyped parents who think it was not meant to be. But, you know, everything is meant to be. So here we go. Halverson taking the face off. Halverson wins it through. White hangs on to it through. Oh, comes into the Mahtomedi crease, and Mahtomedi is able to throw it all the way down into the Elks zone. Riley back to pick it up in the corner. Stops behind the net, comes out, gives it up to White. White goes through, tries to give it up to Halverson, not able to connect, and goes down for icing. The Elks will come back down into their zone, and we'll see if we can break it out quickly and get it into Mahtomedi territory. Bratzel taking the face off for the Elks. Mahtomedi wins it back. Hughes able to push it through and give it up to Bratzel. Bratzel walks into the Mahtomedi zone, puts it into the corner, throws it out for Rotz. Rotz comes around, gives it up to Hughes. Hughes back to Rotz. Rotz with a shot, puts it into the Mahtomedi goalie's stomach, and the face-off will come back to the near board in the Mahtomedi zone. Playing some good music. Bratzel takes the face-off, goes to the Mahtomedi player. Oh, taken out by Rotz, and a great shot by Westgard for a glove save. Wow. Bazinga, take that, Mahtomedi. Holy crap. Rotz was feeling it just now. Rotz was angry. He puts his guy on the floor. And Rotz here to take the face off. Wins it back to Thomas, not quite able to keep it in. Comes back out in neutral, over to Hughes. Hughes goes up to Westgard, not quite able to connect. And Mahtomedi hits Bratzel in the face. Comes back, Bratzel leaves it back for Hughes. Hughes comes in, goes down to Westgard. Westgard back up to Hughes. Hughes over to Thomas. Thomas dumps it back down the half-board. Rotz picking it up. Rotz comes behind the net to Bratzel. Leaves it for Rotz. Rotz comes back up the half-board up to Hughes. Hughes back down to Rotz. Rotz comes down through the corner behind the net. Rotz walks it into the corner. Comes up, tries to center it, not quite able to hang on. And it comes back down to the Elks zone. Mahtomedi is able to capitalize on it in the neutral and dump it back down deep. Hughes picks it up in the corner, gives it up to Bratzel. Bratzel walks around 1D, tries to give it over to Thomas, but everybody's back is turned today. Hughes tries to keep it in, but just offside, and the penalty is killed off by Mahtomedi. We are back to 5-on-5. And face-off is far board at the Elks offensive blue line. Alcott wins it back to Skyberg. Skyberg dumps it down deep in Mahtomedi's zone. Helm tries to get it out, laying in the crease for a second, not able to capitalize. Mahtomedi brings it out through neutral and into the Elks zone. Ooh, Bassett gets hit, and Mahtomedi is able to capitalize. Stoltz tries to hit his guy. Helm backhands it deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Stoltz picks it up, centers it in the crease for Alcott. Not quite there. Alcott brings it behind the net, and Mahtomedi is able to walk out with it. Skyberg holds it in, tries to give it to Stoltz, not quite. Skyberg backhands it to Mahtomedi, and they bring it out wide. Mahtomedi is met with Skyberg and can't get it in deep. Bassett deflects. Mahtomedi throws it back down low. Centers it. Great pad save by Sherritt. Alcott picks it up, brings it through neutral. 2-on-1. Shot and wide by Alcott. Alcott picks it up, brings it up through the zone, dumps it back down deep into the corner. Trzynski comes down to the corner, picked up by White. White brings up the half-board, tries to center it, and is intercepted by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi throws it up. Riley is able to control. Halverson deflects it down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Halverson is hit, and Mahtomedi is able to fling it to the other side. Jack Riley with a shot, deflected wide by Mahtomedi. Trzynski picks it up on the blue line, comes through his player, tries to come down deep, is stopped. Hughes with a slap shot, and great blocker save by Mahtomedi. Trzynski over to Hughes. Hughes not able to keep it in the zone, and comes back out into neutral. Hughes board pass to White. White leaves it back for Halverson. Halverson with a shot and board pad save by Mahtomedi. And Mahtomedi flings it all the way back down into the Elks zone for icing. And we will come back down into the Mahtomedi zone for a face-off on the far side. See if we can pick it up here. Rotson to take the face-off for the Elks. Wins it back to Bratzel. Bratzel comes down to Westgard. Westgard not able to keep control of it. Westgard on the half-board with Bratzel. Bratzel supporting. Mahtomedi rings it all the way around. Rotz hits his guy. Tries to shoot shot from Hughes. Oh, goal by Bratzel. Shot by Hughes is blocked. Comes back to Rotz. Rotz gets a shot on net, and Russell is able to bury the rebound. What a great play. Rotz again was getting angry, put his guy down in the snow. I think that guy ate some snow. And Russell takes the face off. Skyberg comes up, puts it down deep in the Mahtomedi zone. 6 minutes left in the period. Mahtomedi picks it up, tries to come up, intercepted by Bratzel on the half board. Mahtomedi able to pick it up and come across through neutral and into the Elks zone. Tries to center it, not quite there. It comes down into the corner. Rotz picks it up, tries to fling it up for Skyberg. Skyberg brings it back all the way around. Mahtomedi picks it up, centers it, nobody there. Skyberg comes out with it and tries to give it up to Bratzel. Bratzel with a one-on-one, got a little step, makes an escape to Skyberg, just misses the net. Skyberg flings it back down deep for Bratzel. Bratzel centers it out front and there's nobody there. Helm is put down in the corner. It's in the board battle. Oh, comes off the net, and Mahtomedi flings it all the way down into the Elk zone for icing. And we will bring the face-off back down into the Elk zone. The score is now Mahtomedi 3 to Elks 1. And shots on goal are Elks 15 to Mahtomedi 14. Alcott in to take the face-off for the Elks. Alcott tries to get over to Helm, not quite there. Stoltz up to Riley. Riley takes a shot and is blocked by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi comes through neutral. Good poke check by Riley, brings it back up for Alcott. Alcott comes through neutral to Helm. Helm is bold, absolutely crashed over and is slow to get up. Comes down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Stoltz tries to give chase, is run back all the way around. Given up to neutral by Mahtomedi. Thomas comes back with it, gives it up to Stoltz. Stoltz pushing his guy. Mahtomedi able to dump it all the way down into the Elk zone. And share it covers. And we will bring the face-off down to the Elk zone on the far board. Ooh. Oh, Jackson's okay. Helm got absolutely bull rushed. That was kind of scary. That looked like that hurt. And Halverson will be taking the face-off. Brings it back in the corner for Hughes. Hughes rings it all the way around for Trzynski. Trzynski walks out of the zone, gives it up to White, not quite able to connect. And comes all the way back down for icing. Almost a breakaway for White, not quite able to connect, and the face-off will come back down to the Elk zone. Halverson taking the face-off for the Elks. Tied up. Trzynski able to walk out with it, not quite. Shot by Mahtomedi, deflected into the corner. Comes back about around the net. Mahtomedi picks it up behind the net. Hughes steals, gives it up to White. White comes out of the out zone, walks it through neutral into the Mahtomedi zone. Great puck protection, tries to get it up to Halverson, not quite there. Right there, we have 2-on-1, flings it up and into the netting. White had a pretty good opportunity right there, just not quite able to get all of it. Flings it up into the netting. We'll bring the face-off back into the Mahtomedi zone on the near board. Far board. I was wrong. Doesn't happen very often, but I was wrong. Halverson here to take the face-off. Trzynski whacks at it a couple times, not able to keep a stick on it. Halverson steals, loses an edge, and not able to hold the zone. And Mahtomedi flings it into the Elks bench, and we will bring the face-off back down into the same spot. Halverson in to take the face-off for the Elks. About 3 minutes left in the period. comes over to Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi walks it right out of the zone, not able to really connect on their pass. Picked up by White, bring back into the Elks zone. Comes through, picked up by Mahtomedi off the board. Mahtomedi walks through Hughes and snipes top near corner on Sherritt, making the score 4-1 Mahtomedi. The Elks really have to pick it up here if they want to win this, as this is the championship. Bratzel takes the face off, comes through from Mahtomedi, hits it down to Bassett. Bassett comes up to Rotz. Rotz flings it through for Bratzel, not able to connect. And board battle. Mahtomedi flings it down into the near corner. Skyberg gives it up to White. 3-on-1. White gives it up to Bratzel. Or Rotz, sorry. Rotz. I need to remember that. Mahtomedi comes through. Skyberg with his guy in the corner. A little bit of roughing. Westgard gives chase. Can't hang on. Mahtomedi walks it up and shot at the blue line, blocked by Skyberg. I know that hurt. He's shaking his head. Westgard picks it up in the corner, flings it back for Bratzel over to Skyberg. Bratzel able to pick it up, brings it through, up to Westgard. Westgard comes through, not able to hold on to it. Helm picks it up on the far board, flings it into the crease, nobody there. Riley holds his own, flings it down. Bratzel redirects it, and there's a good save by Mahtomedi goalie. Getting a little momentum back. As we have about a minute and a half left in the period. Alcott to take the draw. Mahtomedi flings it all the way around. Helm picks it up, tries to pick it up off the board, flings it through the center ice. Riley picks it up, flings it back down deep in the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi picks it up in the corner, flings it up. Thomas holds and tries to put it back down deep, unsuccessful, and Mahtomedi walks out with it. They come through neutral and into the Elks zone, leaves it up for Mahtomedi and flings up into the netting. And the face-off will come down into the Elks zone on the far board. And a minute and 7 seconds left in the period. Halverson taking the draw. Tries to get over to Skyberg. White picks it up through centers, brings it out of the zone through neutral, over to Trusinski, all alone, shot, goal! Trusinski from White, beautiful pass for a clean goal by Trusinski. Making the score, Mahtomedi 4 to Elk River 2. Amazing shot by Trusinski and an even better pass from White. Good recognition on his part. Seeing that Trusinski was all alone in center ice, gives it beautifully up to him for a beautiful goal. Halverson takes the face off, comes through. White puts his guy on the ground. Mahtomedi flings it all the way down into the Elks zone. And cover by Sherritt. At 50 seconds left in the period. Face off on the far board. Halverson taking the face off. Mahtomedi wins it back behind the net. Hughes flings it up the board to Trusinski. Trusinski is able to fling it out of the zone. White gets a deflection, but comes back out into neutral. Skyberg flings it through neutral, not able to reach his player. Mahtomedi brings it into the Elk zone. Tries to center it. Mahtomedi shoots Oh, not quite there. An amazing save by Ryan Sherritt. Pops up and Sherritt is able to come through and hang on to it. Great save, and which will bring the face-off to the near board in the Elks zone. 20 seconds left in the period. Bratzel takes the face-off, comes up to Mahtomedi, flings it down into the corner. Skyberg up for Rotz. Rotz not able to fling it out of the zone. Mahtomedi tries to walk through Skyberg, unsuccessful. Skyberg flings it up, also not able to get it out of the zone. Hughes poke checks away, and that'll be the end of the second period. Mahtomedi leads 4-2, and shots are even at 17 each. Pretty interesting game, huh, Gabby?
Yep.
Woman, a few words. Yep. We have all of 19 people watching. Yay! Wise words from Michael Hughes, saying we have to get up a notch, which we do. Pretty interesting period. I would say I would give player of the period to, I don't know, I'd say beautiful goal. Beautiful, yep. I like talking, Dad. It's good. Clears his throat. All right. I don't know. I would give player of the period. There's many. I'd say there's 3 different ones. I mean, we had Bratzel and Trzynski getting our 2 goals. And then Rotz was just angry this period. Rotz puts 2 guys face down into the snow. I bet his thirst was quenched after that, getting a face full of snow. Very physical period. And I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. And we can watch the fire truck with the emergency lights go around. Like I said this morning, it's probably the most satisfying thing to watch. It's almost like music for studying. Anyway, the camera doesn't move, so you just kind of watch the Zamboni go from one side through neutral to the other. Hi, do you have wise words?
No.
I see. I want to thank Aiden White's grandmother said I was kind of funny. I appreciate that. Thank you. I try my best. I'm only around sometimes. I should probably introduce myself. I am Josie. I am the cameraman's daughter, and also number 15, Zach Hughes' sister. That would be me. And then I have Gabby right next to me. How are you, Gabby?
Good.
Good. Same word she said 4 times. All right. Oh, Kim says hi, Gabby. Kim also says, get the boys going. You know, Kim, I'm trying.
I think we should get out there.
Oh, Gabby says we should suit up and get on the ice. I would. I did not bring my gear with me, and I might have some concurrent concussions if I got on the ice. Gabby also does not play hockey, so we can see how that would go. AJ says, think your dad wants to drive the fire truck? You know, I don't know. Should we ask him? We should ask him. Want to drive the fire truck? He says nope, very confidently. He is retired and wants to stay that way. I will say, this rink's Zambonis are pretty cool. I mean, we saw the fire truck this morning, and right now, but yesterday, they had a tank. It's sponsored by the Army National Guard, and there's an actual, like, gun-looking thing on the top of it, and it looks like a tank, and it's really funny. We should take some notes and put them on our Zamboni, because that's actually cool to watch. So like this is like entertaining for you all. I'm trying my best to be entertaining, and I think I'm doing somewhat okay at it. Kim says twin sister. I don't really like to air that part out, because I'll say twin sister and then somebody will ask me, are you identical? Not how that works, but it's okay. Yes, I am his twin sister, which means we are the same age. All right, watching the fire truck go around again. And it actually has red and blue lights on it, which gets kind of scary when he gets toward the front, because it looks like there are red and blue lights out in front of the arena, which is not a great thing, but it's entertaining to watch. Don't you think? Yeah. Gabby says entertaining to watch. Great. This Zamboni is going rather slow. I mean, Kim, if you want me to, I'll drive the Zamboni and maybe we can get this going faster. But I think I would end up in a hospital bed if I got out onto this ice. Girls hockey is rough, but it's not that rough. All right. Some good music going on. Oh, great song. I Want to Drive the Zamboni, which is my current feelings right now. I would love to drive this Zamboni, but it is being driven in the wrong spot. He is driving from the rear when I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be in the cab. So I don't know how this is working right now, but it looks good and it's fine. It just, he sits on the back of the truck, so we can't see who's driving it. In the windows of the front of the Zamboni, they're too dark.
The tint's too dark.
Yeah, the tint is too dark. The black paint you cannot see through. And now I'm disappointed. I hope you all can have fun with me, because I am delighted to be here. We know we had a game at 8 a.m. this morning, which means we all had to leave the house at 6, which is a early wake-up call. So right now we are drinking an energy drink so that we can stay awake, but I'm also bouncing off the walls. So let's enjoy this. Everybody should be careful out on the roads today, as they are incredibly slippery. I know it was slow going this morning and this afternoon. So if you can, stay inside your house and curl up with a blanket and a movie and popcorn or whatever candy you like, and just have a night in. Sounds pretty good to me. I don't know. What kind of movies do you like, Gabby? Like what genre?
Any?
Like there's romance, horror, comedy, action, adventure.
Any?
Any and all, she says, except horror. You know, horror is kind of scary, but, you know, we always love a good mystery. Like those Lifetime movies are pretty good. And then there's also the comedy, not the comedy, just the genre of Hallmark. Hallmark is its own genre. When is it time to watch Hallmark movies?
I don't know.
During Christmas? During the summer? Spring? Fall? When?
I don't know.
Gabby doesn't know. You know, personally, I would say at about Thanksgiving time through Christmas and New Year's. That's when all the good Christmas ones are on. But I do have to say, they all pretty much have the same storyline. But that's okay. We watch them anyway because they are comfort movies. Which is fun. I don't know, I think me personally, I like adventure and action. You know, pretty good. Those mysteries, you're on the edge of your seat. I think my ultimate favorite, I love Disney movies. You always know that you will be happy by the end of that movie. Always. And you know you're going to cry at least once during the movie, usually at the beginning, and then it gets all happy. Like The Lion King. I like that movie. Frozen, same way. I don't know, other Disney movies you like? Oh, Cars! Cars 1, 2, and 3 are great movies. Yeah, Lightning McQueen, it's my idol.
I'm so excited for the new Toy Story.
The new Toy Story is coming out. Gabby's waiting for it to come out. She is so excited. AJ says, Harry Potter. Yes, that's fantasy. I do like that. I am a ultimate Harry Potter fan. I have gone to Harry Potter World with my beloved aunt and with my kind of liked twin brother, and we had a lot of fun on roller coasters and stuff. Yes, I mean, if anybody has any questions about Harry Potter, please ask. I'm here for it. And the Zamboni has finally finished. That was a great conversation I had with you guys. Just waiting for the doors to close, and then we can re-enter the ice. Great conversations, you guys. They've been playing some really good music here, and some really good 80s music. The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades. Great song. What are you thinking right now, Dad?
I'm thinking we can do it.
He says we can do it. I agree. We can do it. And here come our Elks. I had a great time chatting with you guys between periods. And we are about ready to start the third period. Score update again. His Mahtomedi leads the Elks 4-2, and shots are even with 17 each. here we go for the start of the period. Getting into their huddle. Apparently there's something wrong with the crease, and Sherrod is trying to get a ref to fix it, and the refs won't give him the time of day, it seems. And Sherrod's trying to fix it. Sherrod's skating on the ice, trying to make it smooth. I think there's some type of divot or bump. He's trying to smooth it out. Finally able to kind of smooth it out. Gives a sign that he's ready, and the period will start. Rott's taking the face off at center. Rotz gives it back to Bassett. Bassett tries to go up to Bratzel. Bratzel swings and whiffs. Comes up to Mahtomedi. Comes back to Bassett in the Elks zone. Tries to give it over to Skyberg. Brings back around for Rotz. Skyberg able to pick it up. Blocked by Mahtomedi. Comes back down into the Elks zone. Bassett comes around with it up to Westgard. Tries to give it back up to Bratzel. Not able to connect. Skyberg tries to give it up, not quite there. Mahtomedi dumps it back down deep in the Elk zone. Comes back off the net. Skyberg able to bring it into the corner. Bassett flings it up for Westgard, not able to get there. Comes back up. Westgard is able to fight through and give it to Bratzel. And there's a 2-1 situation, and Mahtomedi is able to get it away. Comes deep, and Hughes is able to hold the line. Can't quite get all of it, and comes back. Hughes throws it back to the offensive blue line. Mahtomedi comes out. Hughes tries to give it back up to Bratzel. Didn't quite do a lot, but goes down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. White gives pressure. Mahtomedi comes out from behind the net. Passes to the half board. White able to intercept. Gives it back down to Helverson. Helverson into the corner with it. Not able to do much. Centers it, but there's nobody there. Mahtomedi walks out of the zone and dumps it back down deep. Hughes stalls this guy, and Bankston is able to pick it up behind the net. Tries to give it up, goes straight up and catches it and goes back up to Trzynski. Trzynski tries to give it to Helverson, not able to connect. Hughes comes behind the net, pushes it up the half board to White. White tries to go up to Helverson and not able to connect and comes back down deep into the Elk zone. Bankston backhands it back up to Mahtomedi player, goes up tic-tac-toe, and finally covered by Sherrod. And we will bring the face off to the near board in the Elk zone. Alcott in to take the face off for the Elks. Alcott tries up off the draw. Mahtomedi shot rings around for Riley. Riley flings it up. Alcott able to catch. Alcott goes around his defender, comes through, scores! 5-hole. Alcott puts it in, walks around the defender, and puts it in 5-hole. That is Alcott goal. Assist from Riley. Riley's able to fling it out of the zone. Alcott able to capitalize, walks around the defender, and puts it in 5-hole. Great play by the Elks. Score is now Mahtomedi 4 to Elks 3. Rotz takes the face off. Ties up off the draw, comes back for Skyberg. Skyberg backhands it up to Westgard, kind of whiffs on it, comes back down to Skyberg. Skyberg comes back up for Westgard. Rotz able to come through 2-on-1, comes back through. Rotz is not able to get a handle on it, and Mahtomedi rings it back all the way around to the other side. Skyberg able to hold it in, comes back out for Mahtomedi. Thomas over to Skyberg. Skyberg way over to Westgard. Not able to catch and goes down deep into the Elk zone. Rings around. Skyberg picks it up in the corner. Blocks it and comes through up the half board. Tries to fling it up for Rotz. Not able to connect. Is able to get a stick on it. Comes out to neutral. Bratzel tried to pick it up. Gets stopped by Mahtomedi. Thomas goes over to Skyberg, not able to hang on to it. Mahtomedi walks down into the zone, and pad save by Sherritt. White tries to ring it around. Truzinski brings it up off the board, gets stopped. Mahtomedi shot goes wide. White picks it up on the half board. White gives it up to Bratzel. Bratzel tries to flip it deep, not able to. Mahtomedi picks it up, flings it side. Bassett picks it up, goes up to Halverson. Halverson is blocked. Goes out to White at center ice, not able to hold on to it, and goes back toward the penalty box. Bassett is able to pick it up, bring it through neutral, walks down into the Mahtomedi zone, walks around his defender on a knee, and comes through. Oh, it's very close. Just there. And Riley's able to pick it up off the half board, not quite able to hang on. And Mahtomedi walks out of the zone. Hughes makes a great defensive play on Mahtomedi, pushes it through. Shot by Mahtomedi. Sherritt pushes it to the corner. Mahtomedi picks it up behind the net, comes to the corner. White here to block on the boards. Mahtomedi able to hold the zone. Halverson flings it out to Mahtomedi, and Mahtomedi has a 4-on-1. Hughes takes a knee and takes a great block. Flings back up. Mahtomedi shot from the point. Good block save by Sherritt. Stoltz hits his guy. Hughes backhands it up to Riley. Riley has it, comes off the glass, and goes down deep. Chased by Alcott, but comes down in icing and will come back down into the Elks zone on the near board for a face-off. Bratzel takes the face-off. Comes back out to the Mahtomedi defense, puts it back down deep. Bankson goes and battling in the corner with it, up to Westgard. Westgard comes across, not able to lead Rotz, but still able to pick it up. Rotz goes down deep, tries to fling it around, not able to connect. Westgard to Bratzel. Bratzel battle on the half board, picks it up, comes back down. Mahtomedi picks it up in the zone and is able to fling it out. Rotz picks it up on the far board, flings it, hits the ref, and stays in the zone. Bratzel takes a whack at it, shot, and saved by Mahtomedi. And the face-off will come to the far board in the Mahtomedi zone. And about 9 minutes, 8 seconds left in the third period. We have Rotz taking the face-off. Tied up off the face-off and comes back out into neutral. Bankston picks it up, flings it back into the zone, not able to stay there. Skyberg hands it off. Mahtomedi able to pick it up, give it across, brings it back across, and Skyberg is able to fling it back out into neutral and into the Mahtomedi zone. Elks go for a change, and Mahtomedi is not able to capitalize on that. Mahtomedi comes through neutral, walks it down into the Elk zone, gives it back, slap shot, and Hughes tries to go down for a block, but just over the back of his pad, and Sherritt makes a great save. And we have Halverson taking the face-off for the Elks. Halverson wins it back to Hughes. Hughes fans on the ring and comes back for Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi comes behind the net, tries to center, unsuccessful. Trzynski picks it up and is able to get it out of the zone. Mahtomedi gains control, flings it to the far side. Thomas picks it up. Thomas, pass almost intercepted by Mahtomedi, but is ultimately out of the zone, and Halverson is able to get it in down deep into the corner, and Mahtomedi flings it all the way around for Thomas to pick up at the blue line, flings it back down for Trzynski. Thomas fans on his pass, and Mahtomedi is able to fling it out of the zone. Thomas chases, rings it all the way around. Mahtomedi is there to pick it up and shot wide. Trzynski picks it up in the corner, starts skating, pass far over to Stoltz. Stoltz dumps it down deep into the Mahtomedi zone. Mahtomedi rings it around. Stoltz picks it up off the board, rings it back around for Halverson. Halverson not able to pick it up. It took a funny bounce. And off the bench is Skyberg able to pick it up and give it up to Riley. Riley comes through neutral, not able to hang on to it. Comes back to Skyberg. Skyberg walks it in, pulls it down deep. They bring it around, and Riley's able to keep it in on the far side. Comes back down in the corner. Mahtomedi picks it up and reverses back the other way. They bring it all the way around, almost comes out in front of the net. Gives it up. Alcott able to keep it in. Alcott tries to push around his defender and puts it back down deep. Mahtomedi there to pick it up behind the net. Bassett holds it in. Gets pushed against the board. Stoltz picks it up off the half board, not able to hold it. Riley walks in, not able to get it up top, and Mahtomedi shoots it all the way down to the Elks zone, making it icing, and we will come back for a face-off in the Mahtomedi zone. Rotz takes the face off, puts it out. Mahtomedi flings it into the Elk zone. Skyberg flings it through the corner, up to Rotz. Rotz not able to get it out. Comes back to Skyberg. Skyberg walks it out of the zone. Back up to Rotz. Rotz, not sure why that wasn't offside because his body went through before the puck would, but it flings all the way back down into the Elks zone for icing, and we will take a face-off down in the Mahtomedi zone. Rotz on the face-off. Rotz ties up. Mahtomedi able to get it back in the corner, flings it all the way around and all the way down for icing. And the face-off will come back to the same spot. Helm is now in his street clothes with his helmet on, standing on the bench after he got hit in the second period. So hopefully he's okay. Rotz taking the face off, goes through into the corner. Mahtomedi rings it around, pulls it back, is able to make a clean breakout, comes through neutral into the Elks zone. Bankston deflects it off shin pad, and Sherritt is able to hang on. Halverson taking the face off for the Elks. Halverson pushes it through, and shot by Mahtomedi goes wide. Another shot by Mahtomedi goes wide. Trzynski tries to challenge, wasn't there in time. Skyberg in the corner with it. Halverson picks it up, tries to get it off the half board, not able. Skyberg picks it up, brings it through neutral, comes into the Mahtomedi zone, walks it through behind the net. Fighting with the Mahtomedi first player, comes up to Halverson. Halverson takes a shot right there, and White is able to bury the rebound. That was a great shot. Listen to that noise. It is all tied up. Elks 4, Mahtomedi 4. This is a game, everybody. Let's go. That was a great recognition play by Halverson, shooting for the far pad, leaving the rebound right there for White, and he is able to bury it. It went a little slow, but it got in there, and Halverson is here to take the draw at center ice. White, it pushes it through. Mahtomedi picks it up and dumps it deep into the Elks zone. Skyberg there to contend in the corner. Halverson behind the net with White. White gets pushed over. Skyberg picks it up behind the net. Tries to fling it up the half board. Couldn't quite do it. White flings it behind the net to Trzynski. Trzynski gives it up to Halverson. Halverson can't find it. And Mahtomedi slap shots it into oblivion. Out of the ring completely, and the face-off will come to just outside the Elk zone on the far board. Alcott taking the face-off. Mahtomedi pushes it all the way down into the Elk zone. Thomas rings it around. Stoltz there to pick it up, pushes it all the way through, and Mahtomedi was briefly held onto it, but Alcott walks through, is almost able to go through his defender, not able to stay there. Hughes holds the zone. Hughes goes down to Riley. Riley accidentally flings it through. Thomas back to pick it up, flings it all the way up for Riley. Riley tries to center for Stoltz, not quite there. Alcott picks it up at center, brings it into the Mahtomedi zone, walks around his defender, turns up, goes through another one, shot. Blocker saved by Mahtomedi. Stoltz battling on the half board, Alcott there to support him. Alcott not quite able to hang on. Out to Riley, Riley shot. Just a foot wide. Thomas there to take a shot from the blue line, gets blocked by Mahtomedi. Mahtomedi walks out of the zone with it through neutral and into the Elk zone, gives it over, and shot by and deflected off a stick, and a good glove save by Sherritt. The face-off will be taken on the near board in the Elk zone. And we have Rotz here to take the face-off. Rotz ties up with his guy. Bratzel tries to walk out with it. Unsuccessful. Oh, great shot by Mahtomedi, almost buried. Sherritt is taken down by Mahtomedi player out front. Rotz walks out with it and tries to fling it up for Bratzel. Bratzel chases down into the Mahtomedi zone, is able to hang on to it, and then not hang on to it. And Bratzel gets pushed from behind again and again, and Bratzel's able to pick it up and bring it into neutral. Mahtomedi takes capital and flings it all the way down into the Elk zone for icing. And the face-off will come down to the Mahtomedi zone on the near board. 2:30 left in the period. Shots are still even, 23 each, and Bratzel comes down to take the face-off. Bratzel wins the face-off back to Bassett. Bassett slides through for Rotz. Rotz slides it in, and a good save by Mahtomedi goalie. Quite there. Rebound was immediately neutralized by Mahtomedi, so no chance there, but we'll try another one. Bratzel in to take the face off again. Bratzel wins it back to Skyberg. Skyberg with a shot blocked by Mahtomedi. Brat's able to hold the line with a shot on net. Bratzel almost takes the rebound off the board and almost sinks it deep. A great pad save by Mahtomedi, and it's flung back out into neutral. Skyberg off the near board. Bratzel tries for it, not able to get there. And Mahtomedi flings it down deep into the Elks zone. Skyberg there to contend. Comes out into Dunner. Rotz picks it up, brings it up to Bratzel. Bratzel flings it into neutral. Gets railroaded. That's definitely interference. Nothing called. Thomas is able to pick it up, brings it up to White. White enters the zone, gives it over to Bratzel. Bratzel shot, and chest save by Mahtomedi. A huge amount of interference going on, and there are no calls. Halverson taking the face off. Mahtomedi rings it all the way around. Flings it up for Thomas. Thomas able to hold the zone. Mahtomedi picks it up in the corner. Flings it out to center. White just misses it. Comes back to Thomas. Thomas comes up for White. White can't quite get it down deep. Mahtomedi comes out with it. Blocked by Halverson. And Halverson puts it down deep in their own zone. White picks it up in the corner, and Trzynski able to get it off the half board. White comes out in the corner, back down for Trzynski. Trzynski tries to pull through, not quite there. Thomas just flings a shot, goes into the corner. A minute left in the period. Goes back behind the net, and Mahtomedi comes out of the zone, walks it into the Elks zone. Comes up near the blue line. Their player, good block by Hughes. It centers out for Mahtomedi, but nobody there, and comes out into neutral. Mahtomedi walks back into the zone, was way offside. And the face-off will come just outside the Elk zone with about 30 seconds left in the period.
So stressful.
Gabby said what I was thinking. This is stressful. All right, 30 seconds left. Alcott taking the face-off. Mahtomedi able to stick it down into the Elk zone. Skyberg there to pick it up. Skyberg flings it all the way out for Riley at the red line. Riley enters the zone and just offside, maybe by an inch. And maybe by an inch. And the face-off will come to the near side at the offensive blue line for the Elks. Alcott here to take the face-off. Alcott pushes it through. Skyberg puts it down off the board. Riley puts his guy to the ground. Bassett comes through, gives it up to Stoltz. Stoltz pumps it down deep and is boarded. Absolutely boarded, and finally something is called. Finally, something is called on Mahtomedi as Stoltz was absolutely boarded and checked from behind into the board. I mean, absolutely ridiculous at how much is not being called. That was the end of regulation, and we will now head into overtime. And the score is 4-4. Elks lead in shots 26 to Mahtomedi's 23. The Elks, the refs are talking about it right now, but personally, I would vote for 2 and 10 because that was a complete intentional boarding by Mahtomedi. And Mahtomedi will start the overtime shorthanded either way. It's a 5-minute overtime. Stoltz looks to be okay. Talked to the trainer and gave a thumbs up. Stoltz gave the trainer a thumbs up, so I think we are all good. We're having a little intermission between regulation and overtime. And I don't know what the refs have decided, but they looks like to have decided on something, as he has talked to both coaches. I think Gabby agrees he should be ejected for that.
Yes.
Yes. That was a blatant boarding. There was no need for that. The puck had already gone by. So we will be starting a 5-minute running time overtime. And I see that Mahtomedi has been given a 10-2. So number 64 from Mahtomedi will sit a 10-minute as another player will serve the 2. So Mahtomedi will start shorthanded, as the overtime was going to be a 4-on-4, and they're going to start out Elks 4 to the Mahtomedi's 3. Rotz will be taking the face-off for the Elks. Hi, Scott. Really stressed. It's a 2-on-10, but a lot of people agree that he should have been ejected. Rotz brings it back for Hughes. Hughes up to Westgard. Westgard tries to give it over to Bratzel. Bratzel able to pick it up. Leaves it back for Hughes. Hughes comes back and regroups over to Westgard. Westgard comes through, enters the zone. Leaves it back for Rotz, is not able to enter the zone. Comes back to Hughes. Hughes comes through, gives it to Bratzel. Bratzel goes over to Westgard. Westgard enters the zone. Leaves it back for Hughes. Hughes over to Rotz. Rotz takes the shot, blocked by Mahtomedi, and Mahtomedi able to shoot it way down into the Elks zone. And a save by Sherritt. Hughes up to Bratzel. Bratzel to Westgard. Westgard leaves it back for Bratzel. Bratzel back to Hughes. Hughes at the top of the blue line takes a shot and goes up. And Mahtomedi able to slap shot it all the way down into the Elks zone. And a change. Sherritt passes it up to Bratzel. And Bratzel to Trzynski, and Trzynski over to Halverson. Up back to Bratzel. Bratzel back over to Halverson. Tries to slide it back through for Bratzel. Was unsuccessful. Bratzel picks it up in the corner. Is contended by Mahtomedi and is flung through. Riley picks it up at the blue line. Way over to Trzynski. Trzynski with a shot. Hits the side of the net. And Trzynski with it in the corner over to Halverson. Halverson over to Riley. Riley starts walking in down to Lincoln. Lincoln lines it up. Oh, and the whistle was blowing just a millisecond before it was in the net, and the goal was not good. So the face-off will come down into the Mahtomedi zone on the near board. And the penalty has pretty much been killed off. As soon as the whistle is blown, the Mahtomedi player will be let out of the box. Halverson wins it to Trzynski. Not able to hit. White is not able to hold his own. Riley picks it up in the corner, rings it all the way around for Halverson. Halverson not able to pick it up. Mahtomedi takes control, flings it all the way across the blue line for Mahtomedi, and is offside. And the face-off will come to the defensive blue line for the Elks. And we will make a few player changes and get ready to go. 2 minutes left in running time overtime. And Halverson taking the draw. Halverson wins it back to Thomas. Thomas over to Hughes. Hughes comes way up for Halverson. Halverson not able to hang on to it. Flung back the other way. Mahtomedi takes a shot way over the net and is deflected into the corner. Hughes deflects it up to Halverson. Mahtomedi holds the zone, and Halverson is able to fling it back out. Mahtomedi shoots it in and is behind the net. Thomas picks it up. Thomas takes his time over to Hughes. Hughes comes up to the red line and flings it down deep and deflected by the goalie out to the corner. Mahtomedi tries to fling it up. Hughes holds the zone, and our D, Elks D, will change. Alcott able to hold the zone, flings it back down deep. Mahtomedi picks it up behind the net, rings it around. Stoltz able to pick it up, not able to hang on to it, and Mahtomedi will come out of the zone. Mahtomedi tries to take a shot. Good deflection by Bassett. Stoltz picks it up, comes behind the Elks net. Stoltz comes off the board, gives it to Alcott. Alcott not able to hang on to it, and it is flung all the way back down into the Elks zone. 30 seconds left on running time, overtime, and the faceoff is down deep in the Mahtomedi zone on the near board. Have about 25 seconds left. Rotz wins it back. Skyberg up to Hughes. Hughes takes a shot, blocked by Rotz. Mahtomedi flings it up and all the way down on net. 10 seconds left. Mahtomedi centers it, not able to connect, and Rotz picks it up. Rotzel comes through neutral, takes a shot, and is deflected on top of the net by the Mahtomedi goalie. And that is the end of overtime. I think we might go into a shootout, which will be incredibly entertaining. Yep, everybody's getting what they paid for. I'm so happy for my 27 viewers. We are now going into a shootout, and the score is still 4-4, and Elks have 26 shots on net to Mahtomedi's 25. So it is fair to say that the teams are incredibly even. Woo. My hands are currently shaking. I'm a little nervous. And Mahtomedi will go first as they are the visiting team. Number 13, Mahtomedi will go first.
Number 13, Mitchell Dyer.
Just giving the lowdown to the goalies, and then we'll be on our way. And we're off. Mahtomedi comes down, takes one thing, takes a shot, and over the net. And that is a miss for Mahtomedi. Now we have Lincoln Trzynski, our Elks first shooter. Sorry, I am shaking so bad and Gabby's laughing at me. I can't control it. I'm nervous. I'm excited and I'm ready for this to be over. Here comes Lincoln. Goes to backhand side. Walks right in. Shot and blocker save by Mahtomedi. So first round for both teams will result in a miss. And we will come back to Mahtomedi.
Shooting for Mahtomedi, number 6, Weston.
Mahtomedi's number 6, will have be Mahtomedi's second shooter. And he starts. And makes a move and scores. Backhand. So Mahtomedi leads the shootout 1-0. Second shooter for the Elks will be Jace Bratzel, number 8. Here he comes. And it's stopped by Mahtomedi after the second round. Mahtomedi leads the shootout 1-0. So if Mahtomedi scores here, they automatically win.
Number 7, Brian Nelson.
Number 7 from Mahtomedi here to shoot. Let's go share it. Here he comes. And goal. Mahtomedi wins. A nice low shot from Mahtomedi. Won the shootout and won the game. So Mahtomedi will take first in the Battle of the Biscuit, and the Elks will take second. Great effort from both teams. Love to see it. And we are here to present the trophy. Oh, given the wrong trophy. And Elks will receive their second place trophy, and Mahtomedi receives their first place trophy.
I wonder how well they would have done had they had to play a game at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. It is true. The Elks played really good for having to play a game at 8 o'clock this morning. And Mahtomedi did not. But it's okay. Effort was there. And the Elks will come take a picture. So anybody watching, feel free to take a screenshot because I think that's what'll happen. Elks come forward for a picture. Very serious faces from the players. And it's a tough day, but and that's all from me and Gabby today. It was fun. Thank you for watching. Bye now. And there's Dad. Bye, friends. It was really nice talking to you today, and we will see you next time.